There's an awful lot in this life to be thankful for. I'm absolutely thankful for you guys. Thankful for a lot of things here in 2021, moving into the holiday season, Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you guys coming into next week. It's been a really wild year. It's gone fast for me, that's for sure. We put down on this product every Friday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for anybody that's going to be joining or anybody who joins from the international perspective. This goes around in the next 48 hours. And I do want to foot stomp and earmark my international community. This is a project that I'm very steadfast on. I think there's so many people out there that can benefit from hearing my perspective, and you don't necessarily need to buy into my total perspective. I've got a few dollars in Bitcoin. Okay. Things that I would have despised 3 years ago. And a lot of people are like, "God, Ryan, what are you doing? This isn't right for you. Therefore, it's not right for everybody else." I spend very, very little of my time focused in on what other people are doing with their program. As a matter of fact, what I do pay attention to really does separate the way that I approach money, the way I think about money down to its physical presence, and even what it could actually mean as it takes on different forms. And this is one of my most favorite videos that I've ever done in the history of the channel. For you guys, probably not a lot of you guys, I don't know, were with me 5 years ago, but some of the older legacy content that I've done on the channel, this was one of my favorites, where I talked about $100 bill, and I talked about the physical sense of money and how people look at that in different ways. They look at it as the physical form of money, or they look at it as the multiple forms that buying power could take on. And I think it's really beneficial for a lot of folks to understand how to approach money in this manner, and not to be afraid to talk about the money topic. I think it's odd how we shy away from the money topic, but we do want to focus on not retiring with enough, and not having enough to do things with our families, and not having enough to satisfy an unpredicted or an unscheduled medical bill, or an emergency that has come up where you need to draw upon certain funds, and most households out there, they don't have those. Okay, statistics back me up on this, and I, for the life of me, have always done this project to combat what I feel is the status quo with money. And that is, I think most people out there would desire to have more money. The idea is that a lot of people say that, and they say it with frequency, but they don't know how to pursue that end, and they remain in a habitual state of habit forming behavior that doesn't get them ahead. And I don't know if it's just people's inability to self-assess, change. I think if there's anything that you guys could ever do going into 2022 here, is to identify one thing that you can just break away from the norm. This year, I stopped drinking coffee. Weirdest thing. Like, why? Why? You know, why do I have to drink coffee just because everybody else does in the morning? And I thought, well, man, I tried to stop, and I'd get that really bad headache. But it's like, is that the reason to keep doing it? It's the social experiment, right? Everybody's got to show up to coffee. They think you're weird if you don't show up to work with coffee. And it really is my new renowned or really interesting way of identifying with those things that allow you to break away from the crowd, to think differently, right? To hold on to a stock holding when everybody else is running for the hills, okay? Do things independently. Do things because they make sense to you. Don't do things because they make sense to me or any other influence that you can get out there, and they are rampant and they can play into people's inability to display a little bit of patience in this life to get ahead. But the more you can kind of understand and maybe even talk about money for you guys that are frequent visitors to the Independent Investor channel, at least once every Friday on the live stream, it's great. It speaks to your devotion to stare the money topic down right in its face and say, you know what, I get this. I actually want to tackle the money topic. So ironically, I don't have to think so much about money into the future. Now, what we want to do is we want to take that physical $100 bill and we want to break it up and put it into as many strategic buckets as we possibly can. The one that we talk about the most often is to break that into the mid cap and the large cap S&P 500. It's the most beautiful way of segueing your hard-earned physical dollars into that I'm going to put capital to risk bucket. Most important. But mind you, it's only one bucket. And that's why I find it interesting when, people have a problem with a certain speculative position that I may take. They may have a problem with or disagree with my entering some money into Ethereum or Bitcoin or Cardano or maybe even some Shibu Inu and take a little strategic shot here. I mean, within the last 10 hours, it's been the best performing thing in my portfolio. I don't even what some people call it a stock. I find that interesting. It's a lottery ticket at best. But evidently, the Shiba Inu share count is actually being burned in a virtual world. I find that funny. I just kind of laugh and you know, it's gone up about $200 in value in the last few hours, and I just kind of sit back and laugh a little bit. It's just one of many strategic forms of money that I have in my application. Now, some of my physical investments that I may have, they may come in the form of gold. They may come in the form of arms, firearms, ammunition, whatever that may be, art. You know, um, things that are vintage. I have collectibles like sports cards. Shout out to Jason, JMac Investing. He's done a good job. He's traveling around doing his trade shows, and I think it's pretty awesome. Actually, I told him, man, I'm watching his sports card channel more than his regular investing channel anymore. Feel kind of bad about it, but I don't watch a lot of investing channels because I'm spending most of my time making sense of my own program. And I think for you guys that can really adopt that philosophy and, take a few pages out of my playbook, I'm going to talk about a really distinct comparison. And I think all too often people validate their program by looking at others. I don't understand that. I don't envy others. You could come up to me and you could have 10 million bucks, and I wouldn't treat you any different than if you were somebody on the street that had no money. And that's the God's honest truth. It really is. I don't see that in people. I don't put people on a pedestal because everybody else out there says that I should think that you're special. I don't think that. I actually go back and foot stomp that the most special of people that are walking this earth, whether here in the United States or abroad, are people that you've never heard of. Beautiful, beautiful people with a lot to offer to start themselves and then potentially the world. Whether or not they realize that potential or not, maybe they can come on to the Independent Investor channel. And with regard to the financial slice in your life, pick up a touch of motivation that you can put to work for yourself. And I think it's the most important piece when you're talking about revolving around this topic of money. So you don't have to talk about money. You can focus on those things, especially as you evolve and especially as you get older in life and you want to see things. You want to go and you want to, make some of those expenditures on experiences because life is about experiences. And if you get fixated on the physical sense of that dollar when you're holding it into your in your hands, you can honestly lose a lot of track of turning those physical dollars into experiences, into wealth that can make those experiences happen, into wealth that can make the actual security later on in your life a reality and not a shock, maybe even a potential to help somebody else in need, if indeed you have that opportunity to follow through with that and use your dollars in a form that is different just than the physical sense of the money. And so I think that's going to be the topic of conversation as we deliberate tonight around how it is that you can best look at money, how I look at money, how I deploy my strategies daily in whatever capacity. I think you guys are going to find this very, very enlightening. Hopefully, you can take some. Hopefully, maybe even you can sit back and take some of these and put them to good use for yourself. What I don't want you to see is sit back and say, "Man, this guy's really, really, he's off. He's really, really different." Because if you do make that assessment, I'm going to agree with you. I'm very, very different in my application. Okay. What's right for me in the stock game is going to be completely different than somebody else. And I've got a very, very interesting perspective in how I look at my wealth building opportunity, how I look at life, how I look at how important hard-earned dollars are, but equally as important as to take those dollars and leverage them forward to work while I'm continuing to work. Okay, and to expand that base of forms of money. That way, you know, these over here may go stagnant for a while, or a few of them may actually go down, but I've got different strategies with each of those buckets that I'm asking to perform in a different matter over my life. And at some point down the line, I'm going to say, look, man, I did it hard. I made the best decisions that I possibly could. I was deliberate, but I wasn't careful. I put risk on the table. And I think at the end of the day, man, you're not going to get anywhere unless you're willing to put some risk on the table. I think for each and every one of you guys, identifying in what capacity you want to put that risk on the table is really the importance in carving out your place in the independent investor community and considering and deeming yourself an empowered investor. So, welcome to the independent. It's been a drag in 2021, I guess, from one perspective to another. If I was going to just impart to you how I feel in 2021, it's been rough. I go through a week and I come on and I'm like, hey, I've broken out of the funk, and the funk returns. But it's never as bad as you think that it is, and it's all too often not as good as you think it is. I think that's the human's ability to become impatient on a program and start to draw up scenarios that kind of substantiate a narrative for yourself. Perhaps if things aren't kind of going, good, are you a good investor? Are you moving too far away from your plan? What's going on with Hyliion every day? It's down every single day. It was down 5 days this week. It's pretty brutal. Took a hit in the portfolio this week in the tune of about 10,000. So we're going to go through the portfolio review, kind of declare where we're at. It's just been kind of a bummer. 94,000. The irony in this, to give you some perspective, is what really is the difference between 104,000 and 94,000? Some are you going to be like 10 grand, Ryan? That's crazy. That's insanity. Think about all the cool things you could do with 10,000 bucks. If you want to know my honest opinion about it, when you start to manage wealth that I've worked so hard to build over my life, you start to change your perspective a little bit and you look at dollars differently. Where I used to look at $10,000 as an unachievable milestone, I've met it many, many times over again in my life with a working class salary. So this is something that anybody can look at and say, "Gosh, Ryan's right. I haven't got to my first 10,000. He's talking about 10,000s the way he used to, the way he talks about hundreds of thousands of dollars now." And I have multiple accounts that are approaching that $100,000 mark. But I think a lot of people would look at this and maybe just shit their pants. They'd fall off tilt and they're like, "God dang, I'm down 10 grand. I'm out of the market." That level of thinking just does not even enter into my realm of capacity. That is how steadfast I am in my program. And let me tell you why. The risk tolerance that's necessary to hold an Amazon and a Google, which have actually carried weight this week, have just been absolutely fabulous. Thursday, Amazon went up 100.5 per share. Wonderful. I've got both these great holdings right steadily in the black. Amazon was coming off of a missed quarter. Google blew out the numbers. But I'm just happy to own these positions. 3M and AT&T, Boeing, Lockheed in the industrial space have just been real dogs. Value has really come off. You'll see that in the M1 value portfolio. Does it mean that I shit my pants and I fall on tilt and I sell everything? Of course not. It just means that we can nicely revolve around this topic, talk about what's going on, and value kind of took a back seat this week. It just is what it is. Now Hyliion's off 11% week over week here. I really want people, if there's Hyliion fans in the group here, take a page out of my playbook because I'm just about ready to shut the door on the Yahoo thread. I don't get that at all. I just don't get it. There's a bunch of amateurs in there. There's amateurs in there that think they're really, really smart, and they come on and they write really, really long threads in there, thinking that they're persuading people, I guess, or they're just really, really bored, which I'm not in either case. I don't have time to sit there and try to prove somebody wrong that has a problem with a post that I made. I'm pretty rude in there. I really am. I just don't have a lot of patience for moronic activity. I don't. And the Yahoo thread, I do chalk up as moronic activity. It's somewhat of a sick entertainment for me to go on there and have people tell me that I should sell my stock because the stock has dropped from 57 to 7. Like that's some sort of rationale as to why I should just, again, shit my pants, fall on tilt, and sell my stock. I just don't understand why people are so interested in what other people are doing with their money. Again, I am not. I don't care what you're doing with your money. I'm focused on mine, my conviction, my layered approach to this. And if you had any idea at all in how much is baked into this Hyliion position that I have, it's a lot of house money. There's a lot of money that I've saved up over time to make this investment over time, and we just so happen to be down in the name. That's it. It's okay. I'm still a very, very happy man. I get off on a lot of things that I do in life that have absolutely nothing to do with the stock market. You'll be proud. I was up at 0500 every single day this week, and I was in the gym, sweating to the oldies, making myself healthy. You know, I think I look pretty good for a 44-year-old. At least last I checked, I'm 44 years old, which isn't too shabby, you know? But those are the types of things that are worthwhile. It's not worthwhile trying to substantiate my position now. I texted Lewis tonight. He responded to me, told me what's going on. Piece of cake. You wanna lose your ass, ask yourself, I mean, is Vanguard shitting their pants and falling on tilt and selling out of the name because everybody says that it's going to 0? Um, with the cash multiple on the books, cash and equivalents, Hyliion is worth about $4.90 from the best I can tell. Very good post to my last video that I put in there. So you're basically paying a couple dollars for the technology at this point. And um, you know, you need to ask yourself if it's not attractive now, it never will be, and that's totally okay. But get off my back. I'm fine. I'm good. If you're looking at me for justification and the stock pops back up to 12, 14, 16, 18 bucks, you're going to sell the stock anyway, which is not my intention. My intention is to hold this ultra, ultra long because my conviction on the company is very, very simple. I believe that they've got the solution where fleets get to keep their trucks. If I can put it in the simplest of forms, fleets get to keep their trucks. It's a segue to RNG. It's a segue to supplement their existing diesel if that's what they want to do. And it's a segue to keep their existing CNG trucks, to add additional horsepower, to provide fuel savings on the diesel side. And on the ERX side, for those fleets that want to be a little bit more aggressive, look at the Innovation Council. Look where Detmar Logistics was named Hyliion specifically as being the main contributor to them being number 8 on the list. Anheuser-Busch was ahead of them, but Detmar's a private company. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty exciting stuff. A few posts come through this week that showed the hybrid unit in the fleet with Detmar, and they were dirty, and I loved it. Now, that type of stuff excited me. So look at it from my perspective, man. I've got the Yahoo thread telling me what I should do with my money. I just I just chuckle a little bit at that. Um, or they're trying to sell somebody on some idea that they have, some grand epiphany that Thomas Healy needs to wipe his ass in a certain fashion, and because he doesn't wipe it in the fashion that they say that he needs to, that's justification to sell the stock. I'm like, sell the stock, man. If that's your thesis, sell it. Sell it. No problem. I mean, I still like you. It's no big deal. Sell the stock, buy the stock. I don't care what you do. It has nothing to do with my feeling toward you or the stock or Thomas Healy or Hyliion or the world in general. Okay? Have a little perspective about this thing. But owning each and every one of these assets takes a little bit different discipline to apply to each of the individual holdings. VTI, a monkey could invest in VTI. A monkey. You buy it, you hold it, you fund it, you enjoy it. That's it. Very, very simple. Here's Roth IRA number one with some of the holdings to focus in on: some healthcare, Disney, but the oil in Chevron here, JP Morgan in the major bank category, Microsoft, of course, huge staple here in Pepsi. Very nice. VOO, another monkey holding. VBK, a little less monkey holding, but all the same idea. Uh, V&Q, which is the real estate REIT within the Roth IRA, just fits nicely. SoFi went up. It went up and it stayed up for one day, and then got whacked back down again. Again, I'm kind of looking at it, and I must be tough at this point because I can look at it and be like, all right, it's like those Shaolin monks, they get kicked in the nuts over and 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 again, and they're just like this, like, yeah, kick me in the nuts again. It's pretty crazy because if you kick me in the nuts once, I'm going down. But it's honestly how I feel. 2021 has just been a big, swift kick right between the legs. It's been absolutely fabulous. Verizon, Visa's been tough. Verizon hasn't moved for 5 years. Walmart, and nobody gives any crap for that. Everybody's like, value investing, it's the way to go. It's a good way to put money to sleep for a long time. You want to go for compounding and capital appreciation. Just invest in the ETF like VOO, right? You're going to get that compounding growth over time with the 10 to 11 or so. It's just been on fire. So let's safely and conservatively say 8 to 10%, because I know at some point this sucker's going to roll off. But that's the time you look at it and it's like, okay, the market's rolled off. I just buy more. It's really simple, really, really simple. But value's tough, man. Value can really remain in a trough for a long, long time. And I don't care who you are. If you get lucky and you're like, oh, I saw Joe Carlson, he's talking about Home Depot, outpacing the technology stocks. You get lucky sometimes, man. That has nothing to do with your personal ability to pick stocks. Nothing. Nothing. You want to buy value, buy it the way I buy it in the account that I'm about to declare to you, and just buy a bunch of quality names and own them all, and don't try to stock pick the market, man. It's a futile way to go about it for most people. All right. Here's Roth 2 in the house. This is mine. Triple Qs are still doing well. ExxonMobil's come off. Facebook doing quite well. And the VPU VIG, I love that. A dividend appreciation fund. What a great fund. Absolutely fantastic. And then we got a little pocket there, a Hyliion green. If it ever does turn to the green, we're going to be in the money. We're going to be sitting fat. Again, sitting at that all-time low here. 675 is the low. Is it going to break it? I don't know. I don't really care. Doesn't really change where I think the stock is going to be in 5 years. So again, I'd rather just not fall on tilt and be subject to the Yahoo crazies that are telling everybody what they think that you should do with your money. I responded to one today and I was like, you spend a lot of time here. Do you even own the stock? Honestly, Jesus, I don't go in other threads that I don't own. I don't go in there for like general discussion, you know. I mean, I'll go sleep with my wife if I want to go have fun. I'm not in the Yahoo thread. I'm sorry. I'll go buy my own damn stock. I'll go to the gym, pump some freaking iron. I'll kick some ass. I'll have a drink or do something fun with my time. I don't go in there and mingle with people. It's probably the introverted nature of who I am. Most people I can't stand anyway, so no big deal. Most people do not impress me at all, and that's a good place for it. Go into the Yahoo thread. It's a lot of fun. Bagging on the Yahoo thread tonight, no doubt about it. It's about on par, in my opinion, to a toilet bowl. Dirty. That's about what I feel about it. Yep. So here's the dividend portfolio, just shy of 19. Oh, excuse me. This is the passive, the sector portfolio that we've got, 19,000. Nice, man. Whatever. It's slowly growing. I remember when I started it with 1,500, and look at us now, man. We look at this and it's flirting with 20 grand. I've done nothing to this except for fund it, $50 every 2 weeks. Maybe every week. I can't remember. I don't even know anymore. I got funds dispersing to each of these buckets very, very aggressively every single month. Every single month they're going in here. A lot of money. I'm serious about my program. We'll talk a little bit about what it takes to be as serious, and everybody can do it. Everybody can. Everybody can be a little bit more serious about their money. Okay, come on, guys. Be with me here. You don't need to blindly follow me. You've got it inside you. You really do. People usually have an internal flame where they want a little bit more in life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just got to tap into that a little bit. That's right. Here's the dividend portfolio, 26,271. So this is cool. I put $1,000 bill into a bond portfolio here, just to start some of that fixed income. Why not? It's another form of money. Why not? It's in line with my thesis about how important it is to segue into different forms of money. People are going to be like, "You suck, Ryan. Bonds suck." I'll be like, "Yeah, they do. They suck. They suck. I don't care, but it's another form of money." Yeah, it's a stable form of money. And who am I to say that bonds aren't going to come into favor here over the next 10 or so years? As I get older into my 50s, I'd like to have a nice chunk of bonds. And I'm talking $250,000 in bonds. A nice bond portfolio would serve me just fine to have some fixed income coming in. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that action. I'm good to go. All right. Why? Because I can. And you can too. Okay. Just as many strategic buckets as I can possibly. You might not agree with all of them. I don't agree with Shiba Inu. Great, no problem. Don't do it. It's okay. It's just a bucket. It's all right. Like I said, over the last couple hours, I've made 250 bucks. I could probably check it right now, and I'm up another 100. What other opportunity do you have to make that kind of exponential money? I don't know. Answer that for me. If you want to just continue to save to your savings account, great. But that is just one avenue, one amongst many that you could exploit for your financial security into your future. Okay. Thrift savings plan is up. This is one of the few that's up week over week. This is chugging right along, 62,000. Fantastic. What a great initiative this was when I started this back in 2011. And 10 years later, look at that. Just without missing a beat, we've got a $60,000 bill in here, approaching that next threshold, which is 100 grand. Six-figure account in less than 15 years. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. All right. Robinhood's up a little bit. This is the Vanguard's growth. Obviously, Amazon and Google would have helped push this up this week. They did quite well. Webull with the mid cap offering here, down just a touch, couple bucks here. Nothing too crazy. Schwab, we put the position in Swiss F. Okay. That's Globex data. So we've got 10,000 shares of it. So not the entire amount invested in that. We've got a little bit of pay dirt there just sitting on the side. No big deal. I'll put it to work strategically if I deem that necessary. But that's what we've got in the Schwab account. I really like the Schwab platform. It's a good one. So for you guys that I was trying to, I did this for you guys. Like, I don't care. I don't need all these brokers, but I did it for fun. Why not? Establish a strategic bucket. This is an aggressive growth type of bucket. I wanted to pick up Swiss F, and you can't do it on a lot of platforms. You can't do it on Robinhood. I can't do it on mine without calling them and begging them to put me in the name. Charles Schwab, no problem. Bingo, bango, bongo, man. You got the funds in there. It takes a couple days to clear out. And there you go. I was off and running, and I got to invest in the capacity that I wanted to, which was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And Webull, I like a lot. So I'm just kind of checking out these platforms, get back to you guys. They're interesting. To each his own in the aesthetics that you choose in your brokerage account, but it's kind of why I'm doing this anyway. There's the crypto. Went back into Bitcoin, 36% in Bitcoin, Ethereum, 18%, Cardano, 6%, and the Shiba Inu there with a little dab. Very, very small incremental dab. So, you guys can be like, Ryan, you're a bad guy. You invest in Shibu. How dare you? How dare you, Ryan? How dare you take such funds and put in it? The cool thing about this is, man, and I put out a video on this. iTrust Capital has done away with their $30 a month maintenance fee. It's now free. It's now free to invest in cryptocurrency of their liking. I think they've got about 20 or so on the platform, but you can invest in these in a tax sheltered account. Not a lot of opportunity to do that out there. It's kind of cool that they've done away with that $30 fee, which I felt was a little steep. I did, but kind of a cool opportunity. So what's the difference between this week and last week? A few bucks, you know? Is the 5 still in front of it? Could it go to 4? Could it go to 6? Yeah. I mean, look at it this way. A bunch of people came into the thread tonight and I was throwing wrenches at them. Why? Because I want a lot of builders out there with their mentality. We're building wealth. And I'm here to impart to you. There's no way on this God's green earth, man, that I should have that kind of wealth with the amount of household income that I've brought in over the last 16 years of my career. No effing way. No effing way. Take my word for it. A lot of people would look at it and be like, "God, Ryan, you're the independent fella. You're a big super duper hooper star." No, no, it's not. I've made 20 grand on the Independent Investor channel and ad revenue since I started. 20 grand. If you want to ask me if it's been worth it, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. For the people that I love through the community, I love them. I love some of these folks that are part of this community. I love it even more when they can come in and hear something from me that they can pay forward in their own application and find some success at. That's fabulous. That's absolutely fabulous. But no, it's just been by nature of sheer will, determination, a mental mindset of focusing in on this topic to the extent I enjoy it. I really do. I enjoy it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. And the results do render. When you're a very, very good painter, you eventually should be able to render the benefits of being a very good painter. When you're a musician, when you're a carpenter, when you're an electrician, when you get really, really good at something in life and you do it really, really good, and I'm talking about like gritty, intimate. Like I'm talking like, damn, with all your love and all your power and all your love, you gotta punch and you gotta punch until you can't punch no more. Right? That's what I'm talking about. That was Rocky 4 for you. Yeah. It was Rocky 4. I knew you guys knew that. But anyway, I digress, man. It is a number, okay? And again, with all of the word in the Yahoo thread of people coming in there and they're just, holy shit, it's down another 17 cents, Ryan. This is so horrible. Thomas Healy needs to go to hell. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And really, who are you? Okay. Vanguard, BlackRock, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, they all own millions of shares in this company. They're fine. Okay. They're fine. The only people who seemingly are not fine right now are the retail investors who are choosing to come in and absolutely bitch their head off and think it's going to make the first effing bit of difference. And it's not. It's just not. Proper 19 backs me up on this. He says, hell yeah, Ryan. That's it, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He liked that Rocky 4 analogy, man. All your power, all your love. You got to punch and punch till you can't punch no more. Yeah, it's so good, man. But yeah, anyway, I'm at the bottom of the thread here. I'm going through some comments and even buying NFTs. Fantastic. Some nice features in Celsius. Cool. You guys are talking amongst yourself. You get tired of me ranting on. Cheers, Ryan. Great message. Appreciate you, David. Thanks for stopping in. Absolutely. I try to provide a little bit of motivation, a little bit of a mindset that'll help make some sense out of this deal. I don't think it's as difficult as people, but it is a mental conditioning a bit. You know, it really is. You got to put some deliberate thought into it. I think if you game plan a little bit on how it is that you can expect injects to come into your life and plan for those injects accordingly, then if you start to think about that, gosh, Ryan mentioned an emergency fund. Maybe that makes a little bit of sense for us. Honey, what do you think about that? Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? How much do we have in the emergency fund, honey? Well, we have $82, honey. Maybe we can bump up on that little idea a little bit and say, maybe we can anticipate not floating through life on a magic carpet our entire life and maybe being subject, highly unlikely, but maybe being subject to a little bit of bad luck, a little bit, and maybe we can prepare now to account for said bad luck, right? I don't know. I've heard people talk about this investing thing. Maybe we should look into putting a little bit of capital to risk. I don't know. I talked to my neighbor and they said that the last time they invested, they had like $1,500 in there, and the market went down, and they panicked and they pulled everything out of the market before they lost it all. So, you know, if it makes sense for you to start to question some of your applications, by all means, that's the whole key. Is when we're looking to kind of challenge a little bit here. Let me work up the gig here, try to pick a few of these comments. I got one with a Viper in the house. And Jamie, it's great to see you, my friend. Great to see you, my friend. It's cold as hell up here in Virginia, man. I'm sure it's still like 80 down there in Florida. You lucky bastard. Yeah, lucky bastard. He's like, dude, did he just say that, man, on a live stream? Yeah, he did. I'm kind of crazy. This is a great move to scope of some of these coins. Oh, God, you're talking about cryptocurrency. Holy moly. Who the hell would ever invest in that? iTrust is the description if you want to look it up. Sure. Yeah. So I do share in the description. I haven't figured out how to get paid the affiliate. I guess I am affiliated with them, but I don't know if anybody signed up yet. No big deal. I did. I like them. I signed up and that was a chronicle. That wasn't a Shibu Inu video. I secretly put those little things out there to introduce a platform that I actually use. And for those that don't want to invest in Coinbase and some of the other offerings, they want to put maybe some Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, some of the more established coins in place, and they don't want to go through Grayscale. Just make a Grayscale. Look at Grayscale. Look at the breakdown of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. Just build your own. Put it in a tax-deferred account, and you're off and running. You don't have to be subject to the high expense of Grayscale. Yep. Just an idea. Yep. It's good stuff, man. Michael says, Jamie, thank you. Jamie's a good guy for sure. If iTrust does pure bonds, I need to take a look at it. Yeah, it doesn't. It's crypto and precious metal. That's it. I'm not interested in the crypto or excuse me, the precious metal element at all. To be honest with you, it's really just the top end crypto. That's all. And I don't I you wouldn't be eligible, I don't think, Matt, with the income anyway. So, to each his own for what makes sense. A grayscale makes sense for you, right? You succumb your money to a little bit of expense, which gets internally consumed. You don't see that, right? They consume that within the fund, and you live to fight another day. Just own it in a taxable account. It works fine. hmm Good stuff. He uses iTrust. Well, he uses it. Yep, still feeling it out. I've been with him for now 2, 3 months anyway. What platform to use? Yep, that's iTrust is what I use. It's good. I like them. They're really nice. $12 price overweight rating. Are you guys talking about Hyliion? I like my price target, 24. It's as if we're going to enter into 2022 and not report revenue, right? 359,000 of accounts receivable, tripled the accounts receivable, which what I consider to be hybrid sales, which will hit the books. If they can throw a couple of ERX actual finalized letters of intent to purchase on that, that would be great. But if we're assuming that Hyliion's going to enter into 2022 and not add more reservations to an established precedence of going on what 1,590 reservations thus far, and those think tanks and the Yahoo thread, they're like, that means nothing. Okay, it means nothing, asshole. Get out of my face, you freaking idiots. You know, Monet has hybrid units in their fleet. They're using it. They're an established customer. Those relationships that exist with them and their customers, you can't make that up. Okay, it's more than nothing. Okay, perhaps I'm wrong. Ryan, you're wrong. You're putting too much merit in that. Fair enough. I'm prepared to be wrong. But I think it's really, really short sighted to consider it to be a non issue when I think it's a little bit more than a non issue. But going into 2022, I think they're going to continue to build out this reservation order book. If there's a silver lining in this whole thing, they can't do mass orders right now anyway. So what's the damn difference? Who cares? What if Agility came back and said, "Hey, Hyliion, we want to go ahead and follow through with 500 of our 1,000 reservation orders? Could Hyliion oblige?" The answer is no. The supply chain shortage is what's going on right now, which is outside of their control. I posed the scary question: could they meet the order if they came and said, "We want 10"? The answer is no. The answer is no. Their hands are tied behind their back right now. There's nothing else they can do. It's that simple. Have a little diplomacy about this deal and stop being such a bitch all the time, you know? Jesus. Grow a sack, for crying out loud. Be tough. Retail investors are the very people that I advocate for, and I'm the toughest on. There's no doubt about it because holy shit, you bring it on yourself. Toughen up a little bit. Stop being such a crybaby. Mhm. 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 Got new coverage and the price tag was Cantor. I believe I saw that actually. Yeah, the 12. That's the one you're talking about. I saw that. That's right. I mean, the cash to cash equivalence right now puts a value at about $5. So you're talking about paying a couple bucks here for the technology, the patents, the proven order book. Yes, the board that's taking scrutiny right now, the management team, the whole kit and caboodle. If you want to go buy Tesla, go ahead. You may make a shit ton of money and I'll be all about it for you. I will have a drink with you and celebrate. You see how there's no like animosity. It's okay. If you want to go do that, it's okay. It's not in my wheelie house, okay? I've already justified through my conviction what it is that I do. I'm totally fine with it. I think Cantor's right on the money. 12, I think that's conservative. I think that's an easy call to make over the next 12 months. I think by nature of drift, the stock could be there. No doubt about it. I like the independent investor channel's price target, $24. Let's have a little fun with this bitch. These subpar analysts can throw out any number that they want and they have motive behind it. How about if I just come out and have a little bit of fun myself based on my due diligence and where I think the company's going to go? We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I could be wrong. I could you imagine if I was right? Hmm. You mean stocks do go up sometimes? No, no, not in this case, Ryan. It's impossible. It's just gonna stay down forever. It's gonna stay down forever. It's never gonna go up. They're never gonna sell a product. We'll see. We will see. Time being the essence, and Texas forever. Couldn't agree more with the down the Lone Star State. It's great to see you, Matt. Hope all's well. Thanks for having me on to the live stream last week. It was a lot of fun. That was pretty cool, man. It was a lot of fun. Who said anything about oil you cooking? It's really sold off. I think the price dropped big time this week. I think it was a real catalyst. A lot of the oil stocks sold off this week. I think a little disappointed in that. That's all right. I'm like the Shaolin monk, remember? Again, again, again. Give me, kick it again. Amazon banning payment via Visa. Wow, no kidding. Crazy. So freedom to financial freedom's coming to us from abroad. It's very cool to have you in the group, man. It's first time live, so give them a shout out here. Pretty awesome for our international communities in respect to the time difference to align their schedules with the independent investor community here on the live stream. I'm in debt to you. That's pretty badass. Yep. Yep. You get a badass shout out from the independent investor channel. Pretty awesome, man. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. Sell all Hyliion. I'll get them for me. Thank you. I don't know. I mean, my shares are fine. I'm going to do a position video this week and talk about my position specifically. I've got multiple 100-share bullets, and I've built it up like I've built a pyramid. There's no doubt about it. Is it going to zero? Yeah, I don't really invest that way, to be honest with you. I don't really invest that way. Yeah, I don't see the company not having a little conviction. Whether or not it happens next year, or in 3 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, really irrelevant to me. It will happen. It's inevitable. Mhm. Look at that, the chips. Yeah, it's been nasty. AR in machine learning, and don't speak of NVIDIA, you're missing out, no doubt. It's the best in breed. I love NVIDIA, great company. I've made great money with NVIDIA. I currently don't own it right here. That's why the aggressive growth that I declared to you guys is going to be built out with some of those names, some of the NVIDIAs of the world, some of the high conviction cloud plays. CRM fits that bill. CrowdStrike fits that bill. Adobe Systems I love, but I don't own right here. Yeah, lots of really good names that I could fill out that portfolio with from an aggressive profile. I set my trap at 5. You sell some cash secured puts against it. I sold some long calls. It got down to just below 7. I thought that was a really good time to pick up a few contracts. No big deal. Long calls, 2024s. Yep, a lot of fun. I love investing. It's a lot of fun. Yahoo is never a solid information source for me. The thread is garbage. There's a few really good people in there. I want to be fair. It's not my venom tongue only works when I'm talking over the independent investor channel, but I'm not going to sit there and type some scroll for some asshole that disagrees with me. If I could disagree, I don't give a shit. Sell the stock, buy the stock. I don't care. Donate it to a charity. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you have to say to me. I don't care if you have a problem with what I say. It's no problem. Yeah, just stop being a bitch and get out of my face. It's all good. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for the confidence. All 7 figures, nothing compared to Elon's 12. Oh, come on, man. It's all relative, to be honest with you. I think when you look, and this is why I say I don't put people on a pedestal. I don't know how happy of a man he is. I don't know. I know how happy of a man I am. And I gravitate to those people, man, that yeah, they've got some real things to be happy about, and a lot of it doesn't have to do with that type of stuff. hmm I get off. The renderings is the money. Okay, I get off on the business. I get off on the building of things, right? And there's a lot of things that we as a group here, right, the rich gang, have to build. And it has a lot to do with real estate. It's real simple. I mean, that's just the key to success. It's not this. It's not. It's not entertaining people in a Yahoo thread. That's for damn sure. And it's not even really in the capacity of anything that I see on social media that I could prescribe to long term. I don't I love this. I could do the live stream for the next 20 years. I could do it until I died. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. This content will be online for the rest of my life, and when I'm gone, it'll remain online. It's kind of cool, you know. But there's a lot of about being online too much that I don't like at all. hmm But yeah, the best is yet to come. Got to build that stuff up for sure. Ryan Lamb says gives a ticker symbol recommendation there. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I've heard some people talking about it in the Yahoo thread. Fantastic. Maybe I should go buy a little bit, maybe 25 shares or so. If it goes down, Ryan Lamb, I'm coming after you. All right. If I buy 25 shares and it goes down like 17 cents, I am coming after you. All right. Very cool stuff. Let me give a quick 5 minutes. I want to go through this because I really did. I had this idea that I was going to try to separate. I look at money as a tool. I really do. Let me get that comment off there. Look at money as a tool. When money comes in, I'm always looking where I can deploy that money. And I think a lot of people look at, the time that they spend to acquire money so that they can spend the money. That's really the vicious cycle. Okay. And my thing is always where's the inflow coming? And then what more importantly can we do to maximize or prolong the staying power of those dollars going forward? All right. Um, People like me justify stock. We don't justify spending. That's very, very important. Okay. We substantiate, we validate, right? We go through the due diligence to really gain that conviction that I speak about, where a lot of people, I think they justify things. It makes them happy in the short term. They buy things, shit. They buy the shit. Buy it. I feel good. I don't feel good anymore. I got to go buy some more shit, right? Buy it and buy it and buy it. And I got to feel good all the time. And I buy it. I don't have any money, but it's all right because I feel good, right? You'd be kind of careful with that. Focused. You're going to be very, very focused when you're looking to apply a money discipline that works. I talked a little bit about during the live stream. Um, I spend a lot of time thinking about money and I don't shy away from it. Okay. I don't bitch out. Okay. I talk about money. I put it right in your freaking face. And I don't care. I have family members that are like, "Hey, we can't share. Don't share that. Don't share that with Ryan. I don't want to know what you make. I don't know what's amount." I'm like, "How much do you make?" I don't care. I don't care. You could tell me that you make $100,000 a month, and it wouldn't phase me. It's no problem. Great, good for you. That's awesome. What do you do? I mean, are you stressed out? I mean, do you exercise? I mean, are you a whore? I don't know. That's pretty good dollars. $100,000. I'll just be curious. Um, Mentally prepared for those injects. I talked about a little bit where I think a lot of people are potentially ill prepared to just sit down and think about what are some of the foreseeable outcomes into your future. Are you going to get old? I don't know. Maybe a lot of you don't think about that stuff. Maybe you are going to get old. What are some of those things that you can do in preparation of that inevitable event? And I think there's a lot in life that are inevitable. That's why I consider and chalk up investing to be an absolute necessity in your life. And I think where a lot of people will justify a lot of different things out there, contrary to separating yourself from your money, that's where you start to get into trouble. I think I deliberate when I spend, I deliberate when I buy, and I deliberate when I sell. Okay. Whereas on the stock side of the house, especially, there's impulse spending, there's impulse buying, and there's impulse selling. That's what in the Yahoo thread a lot of people are playing off of is people's emotional. They're investing with emotion because they don't know any different. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It doesn't mean they don't know any different. To be like, man, maybe there's a different strategy or method that I should deploy that I know is going to work because this doesn't feel right. Like this just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And all these people are telling me that I shouldn't feel right about this. And then gone. It's gone. Impulse. Okay. Got to do away with the impulse. Chill out. Take my advice. Stop being a bitch. Okay. Um, the use of credit and cash different applications about what makes to you, sense to you in throttling down on the spending, strategic ways of spending. If I spend on credit, what's the difference? A lot of people who are into this like physical nature of money, they just got to touch it and they got to feel it. And fucking look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I can do this. It's paper, but I can do this. Isn't this great? I haven't seen a stack of money for a long, long time. You wanna know why? Because I don't I'm more used to looking at my virtual number than I am a physical stack of cash. And a lot of people do that. They're like, "I don't have any cash in my wallet. I need to have a couple $100 in my wallet just in case I get into an emergency." No, you don't. What the hell is that about? You're fine. In this country, you're totally fine. Chill out, okay? Super, super important. This is the biggest one. You need to learn how to distance yourself from money. When you come into the Independent Investor Channel live stream, we put it right in your face, right in your face. That doesn't mean that you can't digress when we're done talking about this vent session that I put out. This is great for me too. It allows me to vent, talk about my favorite topic, money, boom, boom. I'm aggressive. I throw it, talk about, oh, your power, oh, your love, right? And I throw it out there and I throw it out there hard. But when I digress, I've got a soccer game tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I will be lockstep, steadfast in our mission tomorrow at 8. We have two soccer games tomorrow. Two. My focus will be there. My focus will be on other things when we're done with the game. Hitting the gym, working out, eating healthy tomorrow. Every single day is a new challenge to where you can incorporate those things that are way, way more important during those times of focus than your money. Okay. It can start to consume you a little bit if you're thinking about it all the time. Okay. So set aside those times when you're like, dang, this is pretty cool. Ryan's saying it's okay to talk about the money talk. I think it's fun. I think it's fun. You might think I'm weird. A lot of people think that people who talk about money as often as I do is weird. But again, I buy into the philosophy that if I can really hit this topic hard, the program is there. It's in place. I don't have to focus on a little dab of cryptocurrency. I don't have to focus on a little dab of element of hyper growth in my portfolio. I don't have to focus on the mid cap allocation or the dividend growth strategy or the cash allocation or my child's college fund or my child's 529s and UGMA accounts, my savings account, right? My surplus account, right? My this, my that. I don't have to focus on those because I've already taken the time to use my wrench to build those accounts up over time. My TSP. I can go on and on and on. All of those strategic buckets fill different strategies in my life. So I've already put in the good work. Okay. It's not like I have to continue to put in work and then stress out about putting in more work to build it up and do more and do more and more and more. No, you put in the work on the onset and then you digress a little bit and enjoy being an investor. Monitor the accounts, monitor them, check their performance. Okay. Build them up over time. Look for pockets of improvement over time. But let me tell you guys, when you build up a program like mine, it becomes very, very apparent to me that the more that I can just hold true on the market, the better off I'll be in the long term. And it actually takes so much stress off of not having enough money, which is the fundamental problem that we're going at in this society is people wanting more money. How do you get there? Okay? And really the key is to be able to separate from the need to feel that money all the time. Separate from it. Put those strategic buckets out to work and start to build your digital number. Super, super important, right? And once you separate from your money and you know and you're comfortable with that separation, that's the key. Is a lot of people, it scares them to death. They don't want to do that. Like, man alive, I can't do that type of thing. That's crazy. I gotta have my money physically in front of me, or I gotta feel it, or I gotta have it in case of an emergency. Right? You get where I'm going with that. So very, very important to separate from your money. I really hope you guys appreciate this. I always try to give these insights on how I approach the money game. And for me, what makes sense for me is not something that I'm going to try to sell every individual on. But if you come into the Independent Investor Channel live stream, I'll give you what I've given you for the last 60 minutes. Put the heart on the sleeve a little bit and tell you why it is that I do what I do, to try to justify and really help answer some of those questions as to, gosh, maybe that makes sense for Ryan. Maybe that doesn't make sense for me, or I'm critical on his program. But I get it. I get that each and everybody out there has their own strategy to deploy, and the secret sauce of it is to find those strategies that work for you. So, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in to the Independent Investor Channel live stream. We will wrap it up at 60 minutes, fastest 60 minutes on YouTube for me. I can't believe it. It seems like a minute ago I just started, but that's how much fun I have on the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. There's no doubt about it. We love putting this product forward. We hope that we've reached one investor and we were able to empower that one investor that was able to find their way into the message this evening. Thank you so much. I give all the thanks in the world for you guys. I give a lot of thanks for the opportunity out there, but it's only opportunity if you embrace it and you take advantage of it and pursue those opportunities that are right there for the taking. You just got to give yourself a fighting chance. So, guys, happy Thanksgiving to you guys coming into next Thursday. Appreciate all you guys. Devote subscribers to the message. And also a shout out to my international community who is absolutely fabulous, man. They've been with me for years. Couldn't do it without you. Super, super grateful for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. And we will catch you next Friday on the Independent Investor Channel live stream. No!